guys, what's going on? So it's a follow-up video on nutrition. So in the first video I laid down some principles because the messages you can get about nutrition are so confusing. I'm confused, so that's why I try to synthesize and find out what's really is important. Use that as first principle to build some balanced diet, a diet that could be convenient for me and that would bring me the best of everything, hopefully. So I don't want to pay a coach in nutrition, but so how do I translate the principle into something that makes sense? And that's where a superb tool comes in. I have no link with the tool, so it's a website called chronometer.com, and you can find some nutrition information about all the food you can think of. So I will demonstrate. So the website I'm going to show you is chronometer.com without H. So it's loading, so you can sign up. That would help in regards as you will be able to save the daily log of what you have been eating. I did that for 3 months. That was very helpful, but then it's too cumbersome, so I stopped doing that. And nowadays I'm using this tool only to check the overall picture of my diet. So I will give you an example. Let's say you're eating a banana, medium. Alright, so I give you the calorie, give you the split in terms of macro nutriments like carbs, fat and protein. But more interestingly, it also gives you a lot of information about vitamins and minerals. So for example, we see that when we say that a banana rich in potassium, well, that's not a lie, except you will need to eat 10 bananas or 8 bananas to reach your daily recommended amount. So hopefully there are other food that can help you in this regard. Quick spoiler alert, the answer is probably tomato. So you've got this website, as I said, that gives you a lot of information, and for each of those items you can specify, or actually it's done for you by default, so you probably will have a minimum daily target. You can choose to override that, so I did so for a few of them. Basically I usually added a maximum after researching online. Why it's important? Most of the time it's very hard to overshoot in terms of vitamins. It could basically only happen if you're getting some vitamin supplements, which I try to avoid, except then for vitamin B12 and vitamin D. But overall, I think that food and vitamins could come from food, and you should avoid supplement as much as possible. At the very least, because it's too processed and you don't really know what you're doing and so forth. So for me, whole food is the most important thing you can eat. That's your best medicine, obviously. So more or less I've got the same recommended daily allowance and maximum as set by default by the website. Overrode mainly saturated fat and cholesterol, so I put some maximum. I know it's as I said in the first video, it's something that's debated and debatable, but in my view I think we should avoid going above the threshold, maybe not on a daily basis, but at least on a weekly basis. And I will show you this website enables you to see some weekly picture. So So you can be better on some days, worse on some other days. I think what matters is that at the end of the week, you're more or less green everywhere. So as you can see here, for example, I would need to eat more food to get my daily potassium allowance. What happens if I eat too much of something, say butter? So let's say we'll eat crazy amount. Up, you've got some red all over the places, so obviously saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterols. Really, you're not doing good with so much butter and calorie. So you can basically, without being a nutritionist, you can play with all the food you intend to eat or you have eaten during the day, and you will see how they complement each other, hoping that at the end of the day you've got a lot of green, very few red, and the summary would be captured in this stat here. You want it to be as close as possible to 100%. So with this tool, I build up some food that I really like, and I always go to them because I know they are so nutritious. So they help pump up the green and they avoid getting into red. So let me show you. The first one is my morning cereals. So I will show you the composition later. So I'm adding it. So already I'm reaching 50% of the target with less than 50% of the calories. So as you can see, it's high in protein, very good in terms of minerals, and vitamins not too bad as well. Then I had, at lunchtime, I've got some pasta and lentil dish and tomato. And again, reasonable amount of calories, but full in nutrition. Wow, 64% and only 43% calories. So in terms of budget, you know, if you can eat a given number of calories per day, that's your budget. And then each food you're consuming, there is a cost and the reward being the nutrition. Then this dish clearly is a very good investment. So if I add the two together, voilà. So now everything is, those two recipes are together. So okayish in terms of calories and 86% of my target. So basically I'm just missing a little bit of proteins. Just if you want to build some muscles, I set a target of 100 grams. But of course with 58 grams you're already doing just fine, and you've got most of the essential amino acids, meaning the protein. So the protein you cannot find otherwise than by eating them. Minerals very good. A little bit low in potassium, but that's not too bad, I think. Calcium, it's not too bad. So as you can see, I'm doing very good with those two food. Let me add some water. Say some mineral water to pump up the mineral content. 2 liters and a half. 88%. Let me add some vitamin D and B. So that's the only supplement I'm taking. Alright, so no calorie obviously. And that brings me to 95%. So maybe I could drink some orange juice and get the vitamin C. Pepper is very good as well for vitamin C. So that's it. I mean, in a few meals I'm already covered for the day. So what I tend to do is I don't even think, I just go for my cereals in the morning, then this kind of dishes, so basically pasta and lentils or beans and tomato. And then in the evening, I've got some freeway. I can eat a bit more dirty, let's say. So maybe I could have, I don't know, pizza, burger. Or I try to avoid, but I mean, it just, at least I already know that my nutrition is spot on so far, and that gives me some room for something more open for the rest of the day. So let's see what is in the cereals and then what is in this dish. Alright, so the cereals, some oats, granola, and most importantly is the flaxseed for the omega-3, some dried cranberries for the taste and antioxidants, almond milk, that's very good for vitamin E, and also try to, those recipes are vegan, so I try to avoid dairy or meat. Again, it doesn't mean I don't eat meat in the evening, it just I think it's best if I can be as vegan as possible. And I add some vegan protein, another supplement, why not? And then the last recipe, so ideally if you could have some tomato, pasta, lentils or beans, then you can add some whatever you have at the convenience. So for example, some spinach, some broccoli, maybe some avocado, and some spices full of antioxidants. So that's it for me.